Welcome back to Man Down Sports, man. Unless you've been living on the rock, man, y'all know what's going on with the Brooklyn Nets now. A lot of people are probably thinking, here we go again, and of course, the media is very, I guess, uh, they're speaking very negative about Kyrie Irving right now in this trade request. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm on Kyrie's side with this, man, because I'm gonna break down exactly how we got here, starting from when he decided not to get vaccinated, right? And I'm gonna do it really quick, but basically, the Brooklyn Nets lied to Kevin Durant and Kyrie. And I'm gonna tell you what I think has been going down. If you can go back to some of my videos where we talked about this, Joe Tsai, talked about Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Sean Marks, Steve Nash. I've been consistently saying kind of the same thing. It's not what the media is kind of selling us on Kyrie being a headache. It's really just about him trying to get a contract. That's really what it's all about. And I think he deserves that contract as well. However, I think I think Sean. I don't know if it's Sean Marks or it's the team owner Joe Tsai, but someone's trying to squeeze as much money out of this contract as possible to get it, to pretty much get it to where they got Kyrie Irving, who is a top 10 talent in the league in his prime. They're trying to get him for as cheap as possible. And even with putting money in the contract, they're trying to make it so there's so many stipulations in the contract to where it's basically incentive based. He won't get most of that money. It won't be guaranteed. I wouldn't take that. No top 10 player in the league, nobody of Kyrie Irving's caliber should take that. But they feel like, man, we got so much dirt on Kyrie. We got so much of his reputation shot down, and we got so many people in the media that's going to support the narrative of how bad of a player or teammate or locker room guy or franchise guy that Kyrie Irving is. The media is floating that idea out there so consistently, and then the public is eating and consuming it up, and they're starting to believe the same thing, that they feel like they have all the chips when it comes to this negotiation. Because look, your reputation is shot. You got to play with us for this contract we're going to offer you, because you have no other choice. So instead of negotiating with Kyrie in good faith, like they should, like any good businessman that's working with someone that's bringing that much money to their franchise should be doing, they're trying to get him on the cheap and trying to get him on a contract that's very team friendly, just because they got the leverage to do so, and that leverage is the public opinion and the media perception, right? That's what their leverage is. So let's backtrack to Kevin Durant's request this summer to be traded, and the media tried to spin that and turn it into Kevin Durant trying to get away from Kyrie. And no one ever really believed that. No one ever really believed Kevin Durant was trying to get away from Kyrie with that trade request. Kevin Durant came out shortly after that and explained to you what he wanted. I will come back if you fire Steve Nash and you fire Sean Marks. Now, why was it important for Steve Nash and Sean Marks to get fired? Because Steve Nash wasn't performing as a coach. He wasn't a good coach. And Sean Marks was in cahoots with him in how they treated Kyrie Irving so negatively about pretty much everything, right? And he didn't like that. So he was like, look, man, they messed the relationship up with Kyrie Irving so much, which made the relationship with Kevin Durant messed up as well, that he just said, look, man, let both of them go. That's the only way we'll stay. That's the only way I'll stay, if both of them go, right? So they brought Kevin Durant in. They didn't let Steve Nash go. They came out publicly and said, we're going to stick with our front office, right? Which was a surprise to me. However, in order to get Kevin Durant to come back to training camp and play, they had to make some type of promises to him. And what I think they made promises to him, saying, look, if the season starts out and it's not going the way we think it'll go, we'll go ahead and fire Steve Nash. I don't know what they said about Sean Marks, but I know they probably said something about Steve Nash. We'll let him go at least. And if Kyrie does what he's supposed to do, we'll give him this extension and we can move on with our franchise, right? I think that's what they had to tell Kevin Durant, something for him to come out and be like, okay, I'm good, let's play. So the Lion came in there because they're not negotiating in good faith. You can't come back with a contract to Kyrie Irving after he's made himself an all-star. He's played in a dominating fashion. He's played as your number one while Kevin Durant was down, keeping your ball club above water, at least close to 500, so you can stay in that playoff hunt. They still at number 4 in the East, right? They was number 2 before Kevin Durant went down. They dropped some games, now they're number 4, but they can get right back to that number 2 spot when Kevin Durant comes back. Like, you got something going here, right? Not only that, if you go and Google and find out what teams are in the top in the league as far as attendance and selling out arenas, I think the Brooklyn Nets are top 4, right? So you're selling tickets. Kyrie Irving is helping you sell tickets. He's box office. He's selling jerseys. He got your team on TV. So as a team owner, you got to be looking at your books and saying, this is how much money Kyrie, not just Kevin Durant, but Kyrie and Kevin Durant is generating for my franchise, right? You got to be thinking about that. This is the amount of money that they're generating. Sometimes it's not all about winning the ring. Most teams have aspirations to win a ring, but sometimes it's about the business. And when you look at it, Kyrie Irving is not bad for business. Kevin Durant is not bad for business. So with them both being on your team, you're selling out your arenas every home game. That's 41 sold out ball games, right? Every home game you're selling out, and even some of those games are on TV, and some of the away games are on TV. You're bringing in money that way. When you look at that, you have to say, all right, which players are generating this money for me? I need to pay them. I guarantee you paying Kevin Durant his 40 mil and Kyrie Irving his 40 mil, and you got 80 mil. I guarantee you your team is generating more than 80 mil a season. Your team is probably generating close to, I don't know, maybe I don't know what the average is, but it's probably double, triple, quadruple more than what you're paying those two players. But they're generating most of that money. And then you have to think about, if I lose Kyrie Irving in a trade, it don't matter who I bring in. If it's not Dame Lillard or Steph Curry, there's no other point guard that's going to be able to generate the points, the cachet, the entertainment, the money, the jersey sales. They're not even going to be able to be close to Kyrie Irving. They're not going to be as good as a player as him, because he's a top 3 point guard in the league. It's only Steph, Kyrie, and Dame Lillard in a league of their own. And then after that is a big cliff before you get to drop Ja Morant. Nobody's better than Kyrie and Steph and Dame Lillard at their position. So if you're not bringing those two guys in, you're not going to get your money's worth. Yeah, and you're not going to get the same return that Kyrie Irving is getting you. So, and then on top of that, if you lose Kyrie, now Kevin Durant is going to want out. And now you're going to have to trade him at some point this summer if he don't request a trade before this daggone trade deadline. So you have to look at it as an owner. Why would I play with the contract of Kyrie Irving and put all these stipulations in it? And if you look this up, what some of the stipulations were, it had something to do with games played. They even had a stipulation in them about them winning the championship. Imagine telling a player, I will pay you $40 million a year. However, if we don't win the championship, that money's not guaranteed. So most of your money is tied up in the guarantee. So if I win the championship, I get my whole 40 mil. If I don't win the championship that year, then I'm getting what, 20 mil? You get what I'm saying? Why would you play with a player that it means so much to your franchise for what? Like, is this a get back? Is this a pissing contest? Are you trying to prove something to the media and the fans? Like, are you trying to win at the contract negotiating? Why is it a competition between you, your GM, and your second best player on your team? I don't understand it. Right. So all of that stuff is going on. If you look at the business and you look at the money that you generate with Kevin Durant and Kyrie on your roster, it makes sense for just go ahead and give him the contract, because now you can lock up them both for another 4 years and you can bank that money in. You can count on that money in the bank. Even if Kyrie Irving gets hurt and misses a game or misses a stretch of games, the team still is buzzing. You're still going to get them back. The team is still buzzing. So putting those stipulations in his contract doesn't do anything. That he's not going to play just because he has stipulation in his contract. That's disrespectful to even say that. Right. The only people who really believe that is the people that are spinning that narrative in the media. And most of that is spent because it's good, is really good conversation, really good drama. Do you really believe that is that necessary to put stipulations in your contract for Kyrie Irving? And do you really want to risk all the money you're making for him being on your roster? It don't even make sense. It makes no sense at all. So with all that being said, I'm glad that Kyrie Irving requested that trade. I don't blame him. You know, you can't come to me with this contract and say, look, man, we'll give you the 4 years. However, you got to do X, Y, and Z in order to make the money guaranteed. And your response to that should be, well, you know what, man, look, just trade me. That should be your response. You can't tell me another top 10, top 15, or top 20 player in the league who has a championship clause in their contract. You can't tell me another person that's the number 2 on your roster who has a championship clause in their contract. You don't even have that in Kevin Durant's contract. So why put it in Kyrie Irving's contract? It's Kevin Durant's team. Kyrie Irving is the sidekick. He's the help. Why would you put a championship clause in your second best player's contract? That's nonsensical. It makes no sense. Right? So all this is just them. Just I don't know. Is some type of battle between them, and I just don't understand why the front office is battling with Kyrie. It feels like to me that they have a personal vendetta against him. They've been wanting to stick it to him, and he's been very elusive, and they haven't been able to stick it to him as much as they want. So either that, or they feel like that, look, we have him so destroyed and his reputation is so shot that we think we can pull this off and scave some money off the top so we can keep some money. Right? I think that's what it really is. I think it's like a slumlord. Like Joe Tsai has been like a slumlord. Like, you know, if I can get away with these tenants being in my house and I don't have to fix their heat, then I'm gonna do it. You get what I'm saying? So I think they just feel like, okay, man, the media is going to help me facilitate this. The public is going to help me facilitate this. His reputation is so jacked up. I should be able to pull this off, and no one's going to come to support Kyrie Irving and help fight for him. It's just Kyrie Irving against the whole NBA world. That's what it is. Kyrie Irving against the whole NBA world. No one's talking about the facts on what this contract is. No one's pointing out how unfair that contract is. All they're saying is, well, you brought it on yourself. I don't blame the Nets for doing this. Heck yeah, you should blame the Nets for doing it. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. And they're going to blame all of this on Kyrie and make it seem like everything will be fine if Kyrie just accept the contract. I wouldn't accept that contract, not at all. I don't know what the Player Association is saying about it. I don't think they said anything about it yet. But I don't think the Players Association should really get involved in contract negotiations, really. So I mean, they shouldn't write a statement or anything like that. However, once everyone, if it's true that they came out with a championship clause, I mean, at this point, you got to kind of come out and speak up for Kyrie the same way you spoke up for him when he sent that tweet out and they gave him all these things to go do. And I knew that was going to be a slippery slope. As soon as if you remember, the Anti-Defamation League did not put those stipulations on Kyrie Irving to be able to come back and play. That was the Brooklyn Nets that did that. I don't know if it's Joe Tsai or Sean Marks or both, but one of these clowns are coming up with some of the dumbest things to put against Kyrie, and there's nobody fighting back for Kyrie. But and they know they got Kyrie in a corner because the whole sports world, whether it's ESPN, whether it's Fox, all those analysts, all the reporters, they're all against Kyrie Irving. So it doesn't matter how bad it is that what the Brooklyn Nets do. They already know as soon as it hits the public, everyone is going to be against Kyrie in this whole thing. Everyone's going to be on the Brooklyn Nets side. But at some point, somebody's got to be like, look, man, come on, man. These are the same people who told this man that he had to go and speak to Jewish rabbis and he had to pay $500,000. And come on, man, that's $500,000 you took for him for a tweet. He paid it with no problem, right? You suspended him last year because he didn't get a vaccination. In hindsight, being 2020, he was right the whole time. You shouldn't have been forcing people to get that vaccination. Everybody in New York that lost their job because they wasn't vaccinated got back paid for it, including Kyrie Irving. So after this season is over with, he's going to go after his money. He's probably going to sue the Brooklyn Nets and Joe Tsai to get his money back because they suspended him and docked his pay for all the home games. So he lost about $17 million of his $34 million salary last year. So he only got paid half of his salary. All the home games, he lost that money, never got it back. So on top of them taking $500,000 from him this year, $17 million from him last year, and now they're trying to put all these other stipulations in this contract moving forward for the next 4 years, which pretty much put. None of his money is going to be guaranteed. He's got to be Michael Jordan for 4 years, meaning he can't miss games. They have to win the championships, and they probably got a whole bunch of other incentives in there as well to make his money not guaranteed unless he just jump through hoops and do spectacular things. Why the heck would you have a contract loaded with those type of incentives, man? Championship clause? That is crazy. That is crazy. So with all that, only thing they're trying to do is get a top 10 player for as cheap as possible. They've already took so much money from him already, and he ain't even made no fuss about it. He hasn't even made a fuss about it. But that's all I wanted to get in here and say, man. I just think it's pretty bad, man. We'll probably go live again tonight with the full panel. So everybody, I'll share the link. Everybody can get in here and we'll talk and we'll discuss it, because I'm pretty sure something else is gonna come out pretty soon. I'm gonna be paying attention to Twitter and ESPN and see what new comes out. And then we'll probably have to discuss exactly if this actually goes through and they are able to trade Kyrie Irving within the next 6 days, which I don't think they will. I think they go throw things out there in the media, and of course all the media talking heads that is on the Brooklyn Nets side, they're going to come out and tell everybody that Kyrie Irving don't have a market. None of the owners want him. If he goes and tests free agency, he's not going to have nobody offering him anything. So the media is going to do the dirty work for Brooklyn. And on this side, the grass is not green for Kyrie Irving, because they're going to say on this side, nobody wants you except the Lakers. They might want you, but will they give you a contract? Who knows? So they're going to say things like that. The Lakers might be the only team that wants you. Nobody else wants you. And what the truth really is no one is going to spend a trade trying to get Kyrie Irving when they know they can get him this summer for nothing. So you keep thinking nobody wants Kyrie Irving. No one wants to give Brooklyn Nets any pieces or any draft picks for Kyrie Irving right now, when they know all they got to do is wait 45 more games in the playoffs, and I'm getting them this summer. Especially the Lakers. The Lakers might be desperate because they don't have a lot of time left with LeBron James. They got to strike while the iron's hot with LeBron. So the Lakers might, and plus they want to get off Russ so bad that we got 2 draft picks that we'll send with Russ if we can get Kyrie. They'll do that, and they can move forward with a Kyrie Irving, LeBron James, Rory Uchimari, Anthony Davis, and whoever else they want to play at the 2. Sound like a good squad to me. And they're big, and they can defend and rebound. They have no issues. That team is really solid, right? I'll be rooting for them. right? The Lakers might be the only team that might trade for him right now. But this summer, you keep thinking ain't nobody go offer that man no contract, man. But that's what I expect from the media. I expect the media to go in and do the dirty work for Brooklyn Nets by saying nobody wants Kyrie. He better stay with Brooklyn. He better accept this bad deal. He better accept this bad contract with all these stipulations. And that's pretty much how they're going to be talking. And then they throw dirt on his name any type of other way. But that's what I expect. The same thing that we've seen this summer. And I also expect to see Kevin Durant X out either this trade deadline or this summer. So that's all I got, man. I'll catch y'all on the next one.